Turbine Guy coming back at you yet again. And during this political season and election season here in Orono, I thought I'd give all the members of our community who are running for council and mayor the opportunity. I've already done a couple of videos, but today, Scott Wellman, who threw his name in the ring, said he'd like to talk to the community and let them know what he has to say. How you doing, Scott?
Thank you.
So, first question, tell us a little bit about you, how long you've been in Orono and that kind of thing.
Well, we moved here about 6 years ago, so both of my daughters would have the opportunities that the city provides.
What are some of the things you like about this community the most?
I think my favorite part is the parks, actually. There's a huge mix of active parks and passive area parks. One of our favorite ones is the small but simple the French Park. It's just a square that it's a nice area to just walk because it reflects the tranquility in the area. I just like it quiet, and it's nice to just be able to walk outside and have that quiet while still being able to get to the Twin Cities when we need to.
Well, and that brings up one thing that's been going on in our community is that to some of us, the parks are getting a little overbuilt. We're trying too hard to improve all of our parks and reducing a bunch of the natural areas. What would you be for? Do you want to continue down the path that the current administration is going, where we're going to develop all of our parks, or do you think we need to maintain a balance?
I have my own personal opinion, but if I were on the council, my answer to that question would be partially reflective of what do the people want. So right now there's a park over yonder, a few blocks from here, that's having water problems. And some of the equipment's pretty old. If I was on the council and they came up with the plan, because they just started looking for money to fix up that park, I would be asking for data. Now, I know the people on those commissions work very hard, so I would be expecting that if I were to ask, have you looked at sizing? Have you gotten opinions about the people who live around them? Have you done an environmental impact study? Because we share our space with lots and lots of nature, lots of animals.
A lot of critters out here.
We want to keep that. And is there real need? So we shouldn't build up a park because there's a perceived need. I would want to see data that shows a need. Because I'm data driven. I work in cybersecurity. It's about safety and security and lots of data. You don't make guesses. You work with the data. So I wouldn't want to get an opinion without reviewing the facts.
And that's interesting exactly how you put that, because there's a bit of an uproar in this community these days that we're going down a path we did for the public works and we are for the fire department where there isn't a lot of community input. What's your opinion of that? And if you were on the council, how would you handle it? Maybe different or the same?
Well, as I started looking into all of the current issues, there's lots of those typical day-to-day council issues. And then there's some of the big ticket items that are causing some excitement, let's say. If I were on the council, one of the things that I would want to see is there a way to change the conversation? Because the conversation that I see in the council meetings and in other venues is really becoming polarized. There's groups that worked very hard to get much needed equipment. And I believe that they had the best interest of Orono in mind, at least what they felt was the best interest. And then there's groups who feel they're not getting the information. They don't understand how we got there. And take the fire department again. In 2019, there was a 20-year plan that described a certain solution, a collaboration with Long Lake. It's a very comprehensive document, but the fire information actually is very, very short and to the point. Now we're here not so many years later with a very different landscape, and there just seems to be a lot of people going in circles and splitting apart. So I would want to sit back and let's look at the past. How did we get from where we were in 2019 to now? What are the best features of what we have now? And then plan the future together, which might mean let's take a breath. Maybe it's time for some kind of public venue to stop, ask the people who were involved, ask the current fire chief, ask the city staff who worked so hard to put all this together, ask the city council members who were involved in this, can you lay out a timeline? Can you help bridge the gap of information and help us understand what's working, what's not working, and what would be the best solution, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now?
So it sounds like you'd much rather have a more community-oriented and involved discussion as we go down this path, kind of instead of just blindly deciding, hey, we're the council, we're going to do what we're going to do.
Yes. The council is there to serve. I mean, if I'm asked why am I running, part of it is we moved in to provide for my daughters. They got a lot out of being here. They went to school, they got their first jobs. Well, I said once they've gone to college, and my last one just went to college, how can I serve the community, give back? So I think that's key to a city council is serving. And in order to serve, you need to listen. And so I think we need more effective ways to listen.
Sounds like your interest in running is about the community and not yourself. It's about the parks, it's about everything. And that what you would like to bring is a community together and stop some of the polarization that's going on and try to find out a way where everybody can have a contribution into what Orono's going to be.
Yeah. So take one of those simple questions that are really actually complicated.
Yep.
Should people, when they come to the city council meeting and the time that they're allowed to come up and talk to the city council, should that be at the beginning of a city council meeting, end of the city council meeting, some sort of hybrid where some typical stuff is done at the front and put it in the middle? I want to peel that back and go, why are people asking the question? What isn't being fulfilled that's driving people to be pushing, oh, we have to go back to the beginning. No, we should stay at the end. What's lacking? And I would like to look at some of those questions. And I have some of the questions too. Like if I go back to the webpage that has all the city council, the minutes stop in December. Now that might be because the staff does it once a year. I really don't know. But if you look at the minutes that are there, the public comments are just, largely speaking, public comment time. It's very hard to look those up then. You have to go and watch the video, fast forward, hear every one. It would be much easier if they were written, if they were captured. And if some of the questions, if that argument about when and where it should be is about, are they being listened to? Then there's ways maybe of coming to a compromised answer. And maybe that means adding minutes, written minutes, and keeping track of what people say.
Sounds to me like you're talking about transparency and clarification.
That would be one way of saying it, yes.
Yeah, and that's something I surely agree the city could use a lot more of. I guess just to wrap it up, I'd like to have you speak to the people of Orono and just kind of let them know anything else we've missed.
I'm running, as I said, to serve, to give back to a community that has given a lot to my family. I don't have any particular agenda, per se. If somebody asked me, what's my future vision of Orono? It largely would be tranquility. I like what we have. I like the 20-year plan that talks about a maximum target of 10,000 people. Because I from what I understand, we can't really support the environment and the watershed needs with more than that. And we're largely, over the past 30 years, on track to that. And I want to maintain that. I want to maintain the environment. I want to maintain living. I want to responsibly look at the environment. Like the deer population has gone from something interesting to something dangerous.
Yep.
And now I don't know how much that's in the purview of the city council more than the DNR, but the point is I would like to maintain what we have. Because if we give it away, it's not coming back.
And that's always true when it comes to development. Absolutely. Well, you guys have met Scott Wellman. He's running for Orono Council. It sounds to me like if I was going to describe his candidacy in one word, it'd be tranquility. Let's keep some tranquility in the community, not only out here in nature, but also up at City Hall. Turbine Guy, signing off.